What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 24. With me, as always, is my co-host, Matt Small. You been enjoying the weather lately?
Oh, my God. It's getting better and better
Beautiful out there, isn't it?
It's nice.
I had to do my lawn so desperately.
Yeah, I don't have to do that.
I also, with the weather turning, I got an incentive at work. I got a 3-day golf trip down the Cape.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I can't wait, dude. I'm playing golf with the Guinness guys. And now that I have Emma here, I don't have any time to go to the driving range or warm up, so I'm going to look like crap out there.
Do you even have a set?
Yeah, I got 3 sets over there, remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah, remember I was showing you them and you were you don't have any lefties.
That's right. Yeah, because I'm the lefty. Yep. Wow.
So I'm really looking forward to that. So it's a Thursday to Saturday trip, so I get it's Thursday night and then we leave Saturday morning. So I get a free day off of work too, which is sick.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What part of the Cape?
It's in Harwich. It's called, I think it's Wachusett, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And my wife's Cape house is actually 20 minutes from there. So I asked if her and the baby could stay at the resort, and they were like, I've never had someone ask if a baby can come on the trip. So I'll see. But I don't plan on that happening, so I'll just Uber back to the Cape house and not stay at the resort. But
that's like going on a guy's night out and be like, hey, can I take my baby with me?
Yeah, but it's not I don't want to bring her or the baby to the things. It's just I want them to stay in the room with me
there,
so that I can do the overnight feeds, you know?
Exactly.
Because I can't just be like, all right, I'll go away for 3 days.
See you later.
Yeah. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's going to be great.
In other news, we got the playoffs starting up soon. We don't have an exact date yet.
No, nothing yet.
Let's take a look at the divisions before we dive into that.
Let's do it.
The Central Division, we have the Hurricanes, Lightning, and Panthers all clinched 1, 2, 3 seed. Mm-hmm. The Predators are on the outside looking in still, technically, with the Stars on their heels. Mm-hmm. And that's basically it. I don't think the Blackhawks can't catch them statistically. They're done.
Right.
So
that's why I've been so interested in the Nashville Dallas, because I'm like,
so
I don't know.
The Predators have 2 games left. And if they lose both of those and Dallas wins all 3 of theirs, Dallas will take it.
Right.
But if they get any overtime points, I think Dallas can't catch up. I think. Something like that. So the East is already locked up. Penguins, Capitals, Bruins, Islanders are your 4. Mm-hmm. In the West, we have the Golden Knights, the Avalanche, the Wild, and the Blues are the only team that hasn't locked up yet.
Yep.
I think they just need... It's so weird looking at this math. The Coyotes have 2 games left.
Yeah. So, there's no way they're going to catch up.
They can't. They statistically can't. They can only get 4 points.
So how the hell is St. Louis going to, I don't get it.
The Kings have 5 games left, and they're at 48 points. If they win all those, they'll have 58 points, and that would pass the Blues.
Oh, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Same thing with the Sharks. But
they're not going.
So, that's it. And then in the North, Maple Leafs, Oilers, and Jets are locked in. The Canadians are hanging on. They got 57 points. The only reason I don't think that they're eliminated is because of the Flames with 47. Yeah.
They're 10 points ahead of the Flames.
Mm-hmm. So the Flames have to win all 5 of their games left in the season to tie the Canadians, and then they would go to a tiebreaker, I think. And the Canadians have 3 games left, so the Canadians just have to win a game.
Canadians have to win a game, and Calgary has to lose a game, and I think that's it.
No,
either way.
Yeah,
either way.
It's just Canadians have to win a game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Wow.
It's basically locked up. That's pretty nice.
Right. Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to dive into the little notes that I found on how it's going to look for the playoffs. So 4 teams will advance out of the second round into the Stanley Cup semifinals. So with that said, each division plays 2 rounds in their own division, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. And the winner from each division, which will leave 4 teams left, will all go to a new reseeded format of 1 through 4, where 1 plays 4 and 2 plays 3. There's no preset Eastern and Western Conference final in this Stanley Cup finals. So that's how it's going to look. It's just whoever has the most regular season points is first seed, and they'll play whoever has the least.
That's so weird.
It is, but there was really no other answer for it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen a lot of talk about people wanting to see the NHL go back to 1 versus 16 and 2 versus 15. That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
Be like a big bracket. It'd be random, you know?
Yeah. Well, especially for the teams that haven't played, you've only played each other in the division. You only play teams in the division. So to just jump in and be like, we'll say St. Louis versus I don't know, who would they play like Boston or something like that. But what's I don't know. I think that'd be weird for both. You would just never know what to expect.
But I think it would be good for the game because then you could see St. Louis play someone that they don't have a rivalry with, a team that a new fan base is looking to grow, things like that.
There was talk a while ago about them bringing the bubble back for the playoffs, and I haven't heard anything on that.
Probably not now that vaccines are becoming so readily available.
Yeah.
I would assume that eventually these pro athletes are going to be able to get them, and then it won't even be a worry.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But looking at actual dates for playoffs to start, today is May 7th. This episode's dropping for you on May 10th.
Right.
The first date that we could see playoff action would be May 13th. The Central seems likely to be the first division to start playoff play on that date. The East could follow on the 14th and the West on the 16th. And the reason they have these dates set is because they want 3 days of rest time after the regular season before they start playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
And then, given the difference in time and that the North might not start playoffs until the 20th or 21st, it would make sense for the Central to start a few days after the 13th to tighten it up.
Right.
So we're looking at probably closer to like the 20th or the 19th for
everything to
start.
really get going. Yep.
So hopefully we'll be able to drop another episode before playoffs start.
Right.
But we'll see.
That's the goal. That's the goal here. I don't know, man. I guess we're gonna find out, what they're actually gonna do. It's just, I could have swore like they're gonna, like, the bubble doesn't seem that bad of an idea, but the fact that they're not gonna do it, you're right. The vaccine is coming out, but I don't know.
It's not a bad idea to the fans, but the players, fuck that.
The players be like,
I
don't want to do that shit. Yeah. I
There's
don't know.
no reason to either. I'm already seeing and playing hockey all season long.
Right.
It's made issues and bumps over the road, but they've all gotten through it other than what looks like Vancouver is having a tough stretch with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, Kuznetsov is the only one right now in COVID protocol that I could think of. I'm sure there's someone else, but, like, the COVID protocol list has really shrunk.
Yeah.
Now the only people out really are just injured players.
Yeah.
So
it'll be cool next
better.
week to see, too, once these top 4 teams are locked in for each division, to see how we made out on the playoff predictions and maybe adjust and see if we can make new playoff predictions based on how we know, now that we know how the format's going to look.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
But yeah.
So interesting. And
Can't wait.
we'll definitely talk more about this next week or next Monday for you guys when we drop episode 25. We'll definitely have more on that because I'm sure throughout this week too. I'm sure there'll be more information coming out.
I think you said you want to do a goaltending dive too, right? For next week.
Yeah, so goalie got I want to do a goalie dive because goalies are going to be huge. They're huge in the playoffs. Like you need like good goaltending in the playoffs, and so I wanted to go through all the teams that are going to be in the playoffs, what the goaltending tandem is like, and talk about stats and everything, and just kind of go for that. Like, good topic of conversation for every division. Freddie Anderson was the one that kind of popped out because Freddie Anderson, they threw him down to the Marlies this week. He lost. I guess he's trying to like really shake the cobwebs off, but I don't know. Is Freddie Anderson like the guy anymore for like Toronto?
No, Jack can't. I mean, you always play the hot hand, and that's just what it is. So.
Right.
Freddie Anderson's going to have to bounce back and prove himself that he's better than Jack Campbell, and it's David Riddick, right?
Yep, it's David Riddick and Jack Campbell.
And there's no third name? I think there's a third name on there.
There's a third name on there, and I can't remember who.
Yeah. But either way.
Eric Comrie, I think. I think he's a third.
Yeah,
I could
either
be
way.
absolutely wrong, but we'll be talking
Anderson's
going to
have to prove himself.
Yeah, he's going to have to. You know, no, it's funny. We talked about Anderson, and while I was doing the notes. Oh my God, what team? Oh, is Washington Capitals. When I was doing the notes for like the third goalie, Craig Anderson is still the third goalie for Washington. I'm like,
Taxi
we
squad.
talked about that. I'm like, what the hell has he been doing all season?
Couple games, didn't he? I think that's all he did. I can pull up his stats.
Yeah, I can't remember him playing at all this season. So he's kind of just like, he went to the Taxi squad. He signed that one deal coming back with Washington. I still remember that. I still remember that week texting you because that was when Henrik Lundqvist went out. You're like, what the hell is Washington going to do? And we're like, oh, Phoenix Copley. Like, easy go. And then all of a sudden, this Vitek Vanacek dude comes up, and you're like, whoa.
So he ended up playing 3 games, started 1 game. He's 1-1-0.
Oh, okay, so he's only kind of back to... Yeah, that's...
Yep. 881 save percentage, 279 goals against, so better off with the other guys.
Right, exactly. I don't know. It is what it is. I was just funny because I saw Craig Anderson. Totally forgot he even existed in the league. I was like, holy shit.
It's kind of crazy how quickly he fell out of,
It was nuts, man. Like, he was huge in Ottawa.
Yeah.
Like, big guy.
Recently, too. Like 3 years ago, I would say.
Like, remember him and, like, Andrew Hammond?
Yeah, that was huge.
Hamburglar? Like, those two were great. And now...
He kind of fell off, too, Andrew Hammond.
Yeah. Hammond is in Minnesota now because I've been watching what's that Minnesota YouTube something wild.
I think you said
Becoming
into
the Wild.
the Wild, right?
No, Becoming the Wild. And they had a thing with all the goalies, and Andrew Hammond was part of it. And you're just like, he was talking about Ottawa and how the Hamburglar came to be. He goes, the Hamburglar came to be like way before like the NHL. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then I was like, that's it. All right. He had his time, and that was it.
Yeah.
So weird. Speaking of goalies that definitely has their time and still having their time, want to get into Fleury?
Yeah.
So Fleury Took third spot in most wins by goaltenders in the NHL this week. Marc-Andre Fleury has 490 all-time wins, which I think, did it go up this week? I put this up Wednesday, so unless they won. Oh, Robin Leonard was in that, so no.
Okay.
So 490 all-time wins so far. In second place is Patrick Waugh with 551.
Did he get a win this week?
For who, Fleury?
Waugh.
Why would Patrick Waugh get a win this week?
Just testing
What's
you.
in that beer, buddy?
Just testing you, man.
Jesus. You got baby brain, buddy.
Yeah, you got that right.
And in number one place is Marty Bordeaux with 691 wins. No one is touching that.
No, I don't think so.
Nobody's touching
especially where the new style of the NHL is to have two, like a tandem goal.
Yeah,
goaltender,
right.
You know,
I can't even picture a goalie right now that's like gonna come even fucking close to that.
no,
Like,
yeah,
the NHL is gonna fall and collapse like the fucking Roman Empire, and Bordeaux is still gonna be sitting there in first place.
I think so. Unless it reverts to this is our guy and he's our number one and that's it. But I can't picture that.
I can't either. That's insane. How, like we witnessed one of the best goalies in the league,
Yeah.
Marty Bordeaux. I wish I was a little bit older to appreciate it
yeah.
more, but it is what it is, dude.
Just you gotta appreciate what we have now.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get into the Savannah Kane situation?
Yeah, it's not looking too good for him, huh?
No, I don't know. We talked about him. One of our original episodes,
Yeah,
right?
early on.
Well,
it
like
was at the very beginning of the season that this came out.
Yeah,
He didn't think he was going to play for the Sharks.
right, but he's still playing. So, he filed for bankruptcy earlier this season with $26.8 million in total debt. Kane was borrowing money from the Centennial Bank, Zions Bank Corporation, and South River Capital, which weren't going to be paid back. Kane was caught by a professional bank claiming Kane was in default and had deals where the bank were going to be paid directly by the Sharks organization. Imagine going to a bank and be like, yeah, the Sharks organization is going to be paying this off. Like, how do you get... I'm assuming there's got to be something that says, hey, yeah, that works.
No, it's basically kind of like when you owe money to, I don't know who, like the IRS, let's say. I don't know. But you owe that money, and they'll go to your employer and be like, we're taking this percentage of his paycheck every week to pay off the debt.
Yeah,
he
that
owes.
makes sense.
And that's what they're doing with
Oh,
this.
gotcha. That makes sense.
So he has no choice but to pay them because
Right.
it's coming out before he even looks
Right.
at his check.
When I read that, I had a total different mindset. I thought it was Savannah Kane being like, oh, the Sharks are going to pay, and not
Oh,
me.
that's funny, yeah.
That was my thought. So, with that said, professional bank is suing Kane for $15 million plus attorney fees for defrauding or illegally obtaining money by deception. The lending and the process of securing a $1.5 million loan. So that's what he was doing, and they caught him with
Wow.
that. The professional bank claims Kane revoked the automatic payment that was to be paid by the Sharks organization. So far, Evander Kane is writing a 7-year, $49 million deal with the Sharks that he signed in 2018. So, with that said, probably all that money is fucking gone.
Yeah, it's pretty much all spent if he's that much in debt and he's not paying it back, because that means if, I don't know what year of the contract he's in, but he has the $7 million that he's going to make this year over the span of this
So
year.
he signed in
and that's it.
2018, so he's in the third year of
Yeah.
a 7-year, so he's got 4 more years.
In my eyes, being that much in debt, I would basically look at it like, okay, I need to complete my contract for these 7 years in order to pay off my debt.
Right,
you
for
know.
sure.
Because you said 2018, let's shave 2 years off of that. So it's a $35 million that he's going to make, and he's in debt 26.8. So he's got $7 million to live with. How will he fare?
Oh my god! If only I had $7 million. Holy shit! It sounds bad when you go from like all that money to like just like single digits. But when you talk about like we just did, you'd be like, no, dude, I would take that $7 million and just run.
Yeah, but it's also like you have to change your spending habits and everything, and like I don't know. I wouldn't even get that far in debt, obviously, but
I don't get people who do it. Like we talked about.
it's impressive how they even do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's crazy.
Like, how do you get that bad?
Yeah.
It's all. I mean, we talked about him being like flash with his money and like constantly betting. So like it's that. So I guess you get into like a betting routine, but at one point you'd be like, dude, I'm losing like millions of dollars. Like I can't be doing this.
But like that's the cycle of betting is, all right, if I hit this one, then I'm a little bit closer to being back to square.
Right.
And you hit every once in a while, but then you're sinking yourself deeper and you don't even realize.
Right. It's like
That's why the loan sharks keep giving him the money, because it's like he's fucked. He's gonna have to pay us eventually.
Yeah, right. Damn. Yeah, it's like when people say like, "Oh, I won on a scratch ticket," or "I won doing something," and they're like, "Yeah, but how much money did you lose to get that money?"
Right,
like,
right.
It's more than you think. So I don't know. Hopefully, Kane gets his head out of his ass with this. Kind of sucks to see.
It's good to see that he's still playing, though. I didn't think that he was going to end up playing the year when this first came out. I thought he was done.
He's gonna work at Home Depot?
Yeah, he said he wasn't gonna. He's like, I might not play this year because of all
because of all this shit going on.
which doesn't make sense, honestly.
No.
Because like you should work and get that money.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
for sure. Oh, rough. So actually, I have a follow up. We're gonna move on to another topic that we talked about last week. We talked about the Utica Comets and New Jersey. So what came out this week that the Utica Comets, or now the Utica Devils, have signed a 10-year deal with the New Jersey Devils. The move came after Vancouver wanted to move their AHL affiliate team, which was the Utica Comets, closer to home, and they intend to move them to Abbotsford, British Columbia for the 21-22 season. Under the deal with Vancouver and Utica Comets, this is kind of to explain how the AHL affiliate and NHL teams, this is how they work. So the Canucks own the franchise and supply the players, while Robert Esch and the Mohawk Valley Garden are responsible for the business side. So that's kind of what we're having like a difficulty kind of figuring out with the Binghamton Devils. Remember, we're like, how does that work? But
yeah,
that's pretty much it. This is definitely a way for NHL teams to get their affiliate teams closer to their home. The only two teams that I've found now with affiliates far away is the St. Louis Blues with the Springfield Thunderbirds in Springfield, Mass. Here. And the Tampa Bay Lightning with the Syracuse Crunch in New York. So maybe those will be the two teams that we'll be seeing move.
I would hope so. That's pretty far to go. That's all the way across the country and then all the way
north.
up the country.
Yeah. So I don't know. We might definitely be seeing them. Springfield Thunderbirds have been around forever. I'm thinking about it. And Syracuse Crunch too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these teams want they need their guys, their backup guys, to be close. Like we talked about last week, how Worcester Sharks and San Jose. Like if you need that guy to be like there like the next day.
Yeah,
like,
but
hey,
the main issue with it is the life of the AHL players. They don't get the fancy jets and planes to travel. So when you spread them out and get them closer to their NHL teams, you're making them take a bus all the way from, Tampa Bay up to New York.
Right.
When they had it before, when all these AHL teams were like kind of
Closer to
clustered
each
in
other,
like Minnesota, here's this region, and then here's the Northeast, here's the Canadian region.
Right.
Now we only have 3 different places to go between,
Yeah.
kind of 3 big areas, but
Yeah, they don't have those fancy jets or the
so I don't
big
know.
buses.
I mean, I imagine the AHL is getting more money as the years go on. Obviously not this year, but
No.
the sport's growing, and I would hope to see that the situation for the players could get better.
I hope so. Like what we just talked about, how the AHL affiliate team is going to handle the business, and as a business sense, you're going to be like, hey, like the team we face is like 4 states like away. Like we need, and we play them literally tomorrow. Like we need some money to get us like a plane or something, just to get us to and forth like that.
4
place.
hours on the bus. Have fun. See ya.
Yeah, right.
There's your business decision.
Yep. See you later. Leave the game early.
You want to make it to the show? Good luck. Get on the bus.
Pack your shit after the second period of the last game and get your ass going. I don't know. So that's weird, man. Now that you brought that up, I'm like, holy shit, that's rough.
Yeah, it's a lot more than just how it works for the NHL teams. It's,
right.
It's the AHL guys
so
grinding
different.
it out.
Like it's a climb all the way to like the AHL, and then like from the AHL to like the NHL is just this. It's this huge gap where it just like I was taking a bus. Now I'm getting paid millions of dollars. I'm taking like a flight. I can own a Lamborghini, a mansion.
The skill gap is also there though, because
it's insane.
The jump from the East Coast and all these other leagues to get to the A isn't as big as the A to the NHL.
No,
it's much harder. The roles are filled, and they're filled for a reason, and you have to wait for someone to fall off the wagon in the NHL to even get your shot, to get hurt, things like that.
Well, like we see it. We see the gap in men's league when we get guys who played like college, or I've seen guys who play for like OHL, AHL shit, and like you could just tell by the way they skate. Like one stride and like they're down the ice, you're like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like they make it look so easy, and that's how you could tell like the gap compared to like someone like the OHL who's just like just skating down, and compared to like one guy who could just like push off and just fly right by you.
For sure.
So interesting shit, because it was a good follow up, especially because I think when we were talking about this last week, I was like, this is all like just topic of conversation, I guess. Like, what if? Like it could be, but the fact
your
that
research like nailed it.
Yeah,
the dive that you did.
Try to jump into it. So hopefully, oh man, I was gonna post. I am gonna post. It's Monday. You guys are probably gonna see it on Instagram. I took the clip of you just shitting on New Jersey.
Oh, you're a savage, dude.
I was gonna put it up, and I'm like, oh my god, this should be like a compilation of us just like
dusting everyone.
I've shit on Boston. You shit on New Jersey.
You hit Canada once.
Oh, I hit Quebec.
Yeah, Ottawa. No, we didn't shit on. Well, we shit on Ottawa as a team. We shit on Detroit as a team. I'm sure I talked shit about Atlanta because remember we were talking about Atlanta Thrashes. I'm sure I'd be like, I don't think we did, but we could save that for another time.
No city safe.
But the best part about it is Utica is New York, right?
Right.
So they were smart enough not to put their AHL team in New Jersey because. Moving on. I'm gonna go get a beer.
So, imagine like a city trying to cancel us. Like New Jersey's after this podcast with 52 subscribers. So anyway, to bounce back from that, 16-year-old Taya Currie might be making history. Taya Currie is a goaltender for the AAA under-16 Elgin Middlesex Chiefs. She'll be following the OHL draft in early June to see how many of her Chief teammates are selected, and there's a chance she could be too. Her name has already popped up in conversation with teams and scouts around the league that are in the process of finalizing their draft list. No female has ever been picked in the history of the league's priority selection. She's been playing AAA hockey since the minors, and teammates and other players have said they wouldn't be surprised if she was picked in the draft. Her role model is Shannon Zabados, right? That's what we came with. Who was the first woman to play in the WHL. So she's looking up to another woman breaking what am I trying to say? Breaking a barrier, yeah. She still has options to stick with playing with the boys for another few seasons and pursue NCAA offers. Definitely excited to see what happens here. I feel like we talk about women hockey the past, 5 episodes or so, but
it's
it's
way more common now.
It's way more common. I'm loving seeing this. It's different too. Like, I don't know, like you see like a 16-year-old kid, like boy, get drafted, you're like, oh, that's cool. But like to see like a 16-year-old girl, especially goalie, on like an all boys AAA team, you're like, holy shit. So is that more common?
More common to what?
Is that
female
common
goaltender?
too? Like a female goalie or a female player with like a group of like boys?
Yeah, I think so because there's not a lot of youth like, I don't know, girls hockey. There is probably around here because of where we are, but if you think about it, there's probably not. They would probably have to because there's not a lot of there isn't any, I don't think, around here, women's football, like American football.
Right.
And there was, when I was growing up, there was a girl on our team. So I think it's the same situation there, but like anywhere else. But here we have a strong girls youth hockey program. Right. Pretty cool too. Matt actually picked up a jersey right behind us. That is the Elgin Middlesex Chiefs jersey.
One of the Hanson brothers plays for him.
But it was kind of surprising to me too, seeing Shannon Zabados and not the goaltender from the Tampa Bay Lightning that played.
Oh, Megan Roomy, something like that?
Rome, yeah. Rome, I think that's how you say it. I forget. But, I kind of expected her to be the role model there.
Right.
That's pretty funny.
But, yeah. I think because Shannon's more, like, now era.
Yep.
So,
definitely. She might not even know. I'm sure she does.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
Because Shannon played for Team Canada.
Damn.
She did good.
Damn.
So yeah, that's interesting, man. Oh, also, again, too, like, Sticky Socks and... Was it Mass Hockey League also had like a women's team
Yep, Mass Hockey definitely had a women's league.
And like to the point where like, so we have a mass goalie list, I think we've already talked about, where we get emails and stuff looking for goalies. And it's big here to the point where like you'll get emails from that league that says just female goalies only. Like they don't care. Like, no, we have female goalies out there. We want female goalies only.
Well, it's also a requirement. You can't have a man play in the women's league. Because there are certain leagues that are women's leagues, and we couldn't play it. Same way that there's 40+, 50+, 60+ leagues. You can't play if you're 18, 20.
Oh, it's interesting. Because I've played with, like, women.
I have too,
yep. Oh, interesting.
There are co-ed teams. Like my Stilky Mitts team that I've had the jersey up for, they have 3 women on the team.
Oh wow.
And one of them is the other goalie that I split the season with
Mhm.
because I've been on way too many teams at one time. So I told her
I remember
we could
that
split
you
the
had
season
like
half and
5
half.
teams at one
Yeah,
point.
it was absurd, but it was fucking awesome.
I used to
miss
get
it
texts
so
be
much.
like, "Hey, like I have 2 games at the same time, 2 different rinks. Can you play for me?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yep.
sure."
The best though was when they scheduled me back to back. I would email the league sometimes and be like, "Hey, I play for this team and this team. If you write the schedule, you can set me up to have back to backs if you want." And I would play 2 hours.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I would get right
That
off the
works-
ice and go right.
that
to
works
the, yeah,
perfect.
it was great.
That works beautiful. What I was gonna say. So when I first,
The hardest part about that, actually, but sorry to interrupt, is picking where you go to drink beers after. You go to that team, this team, you know.
everyone has their go. The best. I have a photo of it that I think I'll put it. I think I found it. Someone had the roller.
Paint roller,
No, the roller. What am I
foam
trying
roller.
to say? The igloo.
cooler.
The cooler. Why the fuck? Anyway, it's shaped like a Zamboni.
Yeah, my buddy has that.
You have that one too?
I think it might have been my team.
Was it?
Maybe you filled for them because he brought it every game.
It was amazing.
The thing's
I had
hilarious.
to
yeah.
take a photo and be like, this is the best
It's
thing
beat
ever.
to shit now though.
Did I tell you like I can't have beers after a game? Like it fucks
Yeah,
me
you
up.
told me that on the show before.
But everyone does. Like I've seen guys
the
like
thing.
chug beers.
Best
And
thing
I'm
in the
like,
world.
oh.
One thing too that I really like, my buddy is the captain of the Crusaders, a team around here, and what do? They do like a player of the game, and they give them like a Crusader helmet, like a legit one, and they have to take a photo of themselves somewhere with it on throughout the week. And the photos they came up with were so funny. They're hilarious.
No, it's a men's league. What are they in like strip clubs and shit? Just like
Yeah, right.
That's brutal. Oh, that reminds me. There used to be a. Is it the Glass Slipper? I think it is.
Jesus
That's the one in
Christ, we
Boston.
getting into strip talk.
No. There used to be a team that used to go in like the Stinky Sox like spring breakaway tournament and the fall. They had like 2 tournaments in the summertime, and they were sponsored by I think the Glass Slipper
That's awesome.
from like Boston. I'm like, how did you do? Like, did you walk in and be like, hey, we're a hockey team, you might
Yeah.
sponsor?
They get a discount, like they get a nickel off every dollar they throw. They have like a loyalty card for the team.
Just throwing change. We're like, we have a discount.
Christ.
Yeah, so just one more thing before. So the best thing I saw too, which I thought was great because we're talking about women's hockey, is that when I was playing for Sticky Sox way back in the day, we used to do this 5 o'clock or 5:30 game in Quincy. It used to be fucking great, man. It was every Saturday, most chill, just like relax. Everyone knew each other, so it was just a fun. But I had a husband and a wife that played together all the time, and I thought that was like the best thing ever.
That's
man.
pretty cool.
It was so great. Like she would get the puck, and the guys would just be like falling and just like letting her get to me, and like I try to like pad stack to like let her get by me. So it was great, man. I love seeing women try to get into like the sport here. It's great.
I like to see older people starting at a young older people picking it up at a older age than usual.
Right.
I like to see that.
That's cool. They're like, yeah, I've been wanting to do this forever, and I finally just like did it, and I'm like, dude, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Good for you.
It's a lot longer of a way to fall when you're a full adult too, so it's easier to learn as a kid because you fall and you're like, it doesn't really hurt that bad. But then when you start learning as an adult, you're like, Jesus Christ, this sucks.
Fuck yeah. All right, so let's move on. So before we're gonna talk about Tom Wilson obviously tonight, and I'm infuriated by it. I don't know what your opinion is on it.
I'm not.
You're
I'm not that mad about it. No.
Okay. But before we talk about that, I want to talk about TJ Oshie because he also had a night that night. And so TJ Oshie's father, Tim Oshie, passed away Tuesday morning. Tim Oshie was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2012. He was nicknamed Coach, and his nickname was stickered onto the helmets of the players during Wednesday night's game in memory of him. TJ was able to win the Stanley Cup with his father in attendance back in 2018 and had a memorable tear-jerking interview. So I don't think I could put it here, but it was just an interview with him saying, like, the interviewer was just like, is your father here? He goes, yep, he's here. And he kind of breaking down, saying he's having a hard time, like, remembering shit. And as a son who, like, loves your father, you know, and everything, it's got to be difficult. You could see it in his face. Like, he did the Stanley Cup for him. And, you know, he's just like, you know, he might not even remember this, but it's such a shit disease.
It is
so bad. So, you know, our hearts go out to you, TJ, and, you know, we're sorry for what happened. So on that Wednesday night game, TJ Oshie scored a hat trick for his father, which sent fans on an emotional roller coaster with everything that happened that game. Dude, like, I can't imagine what was going on in his mind. Like, he was like, this game was for his father, yet in the game also is just like everyone beating the shit out of each other because of what Tom Wilson did the other night.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to take in, but I think once you're on the ice ready to go, you've warmed up with the guys. They're trying to distract him from it, obviously.
Right.
And once you're there, you got a job to do, So
Right.
You showed up for work, you're gonna have to do your job.
Right.
He did clearly with the fucking hat
he
trick,
nailed it. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
So
cool to see.
it's yeah, for sure. So do we want to jump right into it?
Yeah. So I'll give you guys all the rundown of how this happened, what happened, and in the order it came in. So
I'm mad about this, but we're going to talk about this. So
all right. So here's the Tom Wilson situation. On May 3rd, the Capitals versus Rangers. Tom Wilson punches Rangers Pavel Buchnevich in the head as he was face down on the ice, and then ragdolled Artemi Panarin, which would force him out injured for the remainder of the season. Wilson was fined the league maximum of $5,000 with no suspension given. Rangers responded with this comment, Matt, if you want to rifle that one off real quick.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
And after the comment from the Rangers, both President John Davidson and GM Jeff Gorton were relieved of their position, and Chris Drury was put in their places. The Rangers were also hit with a $250,000 fine for their comment.
So for the comment from the New York Rangers, I'll just read it verbatim here. So the New York Rangers are extremely disappointed that Capitals forward Tom Wilson was not suspended for his horrifying act of violence last night at Madison Square Garden. Wilson is a repeat offender with a long history of these type of acts, and we find it shocking that the NHL and their Department of Player Safety failed to take the appropriate action and suspend him indefinitely. Wilson's dangerous and reckless actions caused an injury to Artemi Panarin that would prevent him from playing again this season. We view this as dereliction of duty by NHL head of player safety, George you know what I was saying? I was saying Georges Laraque earlier. That's why I screwed this up.
Dereliction, like derelict.
Dereliction.
Yeah.
Okay, I messed that one up. So
George
Parros. And believe he is unfit to continue in his current role. Now, it's a jab, but nothing crazy enough that says, hey, here's a $250,000 fine, and also both of you just job.
So $250K is a lot to us and to players, but to an organization like the New York Rangers, who have been around for over 100 years,
chump change.
Yeah. That's like when we see a player get whacked with the $25,000 fine.
Right.
I don't know. I just think when they're paying $82 million,
but they shouldn't be fined whatsoever. I love the fact that they came out and they said what was on their mind and said, "Hey, listen,
I do too. I think the issue that they got was where they said the head of player safety is unfit to continue in his current role. You went after a specific NHL executive,
right?
You can't do that.
Right.
That's what it is. So I think it's a whole department, and you singled out the one guy,
right?
I think I like that they said this, and I'm cool with it. I don't think that they should have been fined, I guess. I don't know. I see both sides of it, but...
What about losing their jobs?
Losing their jobs wasn't from the league. That was from the New York Rangers.
Oh, They
fired their own GM and president of hockey operations. And it was absolutely because of this, and they tried to flip the script and say that it was because of how the team performed this season. But it was a day after they released this.
Yeah, it was way too close after this that you're like, no, there's no way.
But yeah, I think just the fact they call out George Parros himself and say he's unfit to continue in his current role, you're going to get whacked.
Right.
That's what that is. So, to finish up this real quick, the Capitals and Rangers faced each other again 2 days later, where we got to see old-time hockey right at the face-off. We would be seeing an NHL first 6 brawls in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Just kept coming.
And now we have Pavel Buchnevich and Anthony Mantha, who are giving each other a hard time in the beginning of the second period, where it ended with Buchnevich cross-checking Mantha right in the face, and that would give him a 1-game suspension.
I don't know, man. I don't know what are we talking about first. We'll talk about the Buchnevich and Anthony Mantha so we can get that out of the way.
Okay.
So the game, if you watch the game, it was just everyone was just on each other. It was a fucking mess. And Buchnevich and Anthony Mantha were pretty much on each other. Anthony Mantha coming on the team. I'm trying to see it from his point of view, and you're on the team, right? So you're saying, "Hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to defend this team." That's what he's doing. He's doing it as a player. He's like, "Hey, I'm all with you. I'll fight the fucking shit out of these guys." But it did get to a point where it got too much, and that Buchnevich hit though was just like he got him. Like
Yeah,
he
and I
came
think it
up
was
and got him.
intentional. You know, it wasn't like I tried to cross-check him in the chest.
No, it
He
was
went for the face.
straight in the face.
But Mantha was poking the bear a bit, like chasing him around, hacking
Right.
him, slashing him. Gave him a nice hit.
Oh, yeah.
I forget who hit who on the boards, but that's what started it.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm all for Buchnevich getting the 1 game suspension.
Yeah, me too. I'm all for that.
I think it's the right number, and I think
Right.
first time, things like that.
Now, if Tom Wilson got the $5,000 fine, or just no fine at all, but at least like a 1 or 2 game suspension, does fucking any of this happen?
No, it doesn't.
No.
Why would it?
Exactly.
I mean, there could be one fight, but it's not what it wouldn't be what it was because now Panarin's out for the season because of what a Capitals player did.
Right.
So I could understand like a fight, but I don't think obviously I don't think any of this would happen. You know?
No, hell no. And I'm so glad the Rangers came out the way they did, to be honest, because I'm like, they're out of the playoffs. They're just out, and I guess their whole thing was, all right, now we're going to defend our team. We're going to defend our Artemi Panarin.
And with you saying that they're out of the playoffs, the Caps are in the playoffs, so we can take something out of their pocket that they could use.
Exactly.
And we're going to go into it, but Wilson ends up leaving the game with an upper body injury after I think he had 3 fighting majors. I'm not 100% on that. But he leaves the game with an upper body injury. That could affect them later on down the road. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But yeah.
So it's just, they went right after him. Like I remember watching like the first face-off, and I don't know what the hell they were saying, but it might have been just like we're dropping the gloves. Like that's pretty much it.
They both put their lines out there. They knew it was going to happen. The coaches.
Oh yeah.
They put out like even matchups too. It wasn't like one guy was jumping another guy.
Right.
You know.
And what's his name that I thought I was going to talk about? Mark Smith. Shit, I can't remember. Can't remember his name from the Rangers there. He went right after Tom Wilson.
Brendan Smith, right?
Is it Brendan Smith? Yeah, it's Brendan Smith. He got as soon as Tom Wilson hit that ice, like from the viewpoint.
He like chased him down and dropped the gloves, yeah.
Beelined it right to him and just dropped the gloves. So he's a player. And so I don't like Tom Wilson at all.
He's their Brad Marchand.
He is, but worse, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I agree with that. He's more of like a Matt Cook,
right?
Like injuring people. And
exactly.
Shit.
And someone brought up the Marchand slew foot. I'm like, yeah, he's done that, but compared to what Tom Wilson's done, I'm like, you can't compare. Like other than the slew foot, like
Marchand's suspension history is probably a third of Wilson's, if that.
Yeah,
you know,
and he's just dirty. Like the most recent one with the Brandon Carlo hit is just.
Do you want to actually dive into this page? Because that's on here too.
Okay, want to go all with this? Okay.
Finish this and then we'll talk about it.
Okay. So which you want to go on like the whole page here?
Whatever you got.
Okay. So I guess I'll you know what? Fuck it. I guess I'll read verbatim what I have. It's just notes, but I guess for everyone listening, and we can really get this thing going. So. John Davidson, who is the president of the New York Rangers, I wrote down what he's done in his career so far as a president. So he became president for the Rangers back in 1920 season. In the 2 seasons, he's brought the Rangers from 7th or 8th place team to a 5th this season. Davidson was the president of the Blues back in 2006 to the 2012 season, where he got the team from a 5th place team to a 1st and 2nd place in the 2011 and 2012 seasons, before signing with the Blue Jackets in the 2012-2019, where he brought the team to the playoffs 4 out of the 7 years he was president there, which is the most that franchise has seen.
It's a pretty sick resume.
Right,
that's
great.
Nice.
Jeff Gorton, the GM, was a GM for the New York Rangers for the past 4 seasons. He's been with the team longer, serving as a scout for 1 season and then the director of player personnel for the 3 seasons. I don't think I'm going to read that one. I was mad about George Barros. So we'll talk about Tom Wilson's suspension history here. So September 2017, he got 2 preseason games for a hit on Blues Robert Thomas,
which is from in the preseason. He had that hit.
Yeah,
probably
preseason. Okay. Yep. October 2017, 4 games for boarding Blues Sammy Bly.
Mm-hmm.
May 2018, 3 playoff games for illegal check to the head to Zach Aston Reese of the Penguins. September 2018, initially got a 20-game suspension, but was brought down to 14 from an appeal for an illegal check to the head on Blues Oscar Sundqvist. And then on March 2021, he got a 7 games for the hit to the head for the Bruins, Brandon Carlo. So, like, you get 7 games for that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just happened. You get 7 games for that hit to Brandon Carlo, and then you come back and just pull the exact same shit again with just, like, Ragdoll and Panarin, and then hitting Buchnevich, like, on the ice, like, face down the ice, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to sucker punch this guy. Like, this is why I'm just not a fan of him at all. That's why this aggravated me. So Wilson's been in the league since 2013. He's played 8 seasons, all with the Capitals. The Capitals will face Philly tonight, Friday, and I guarantee he'll be in the lineup. And probably when I edit this, I'll have it up to see if he's actually in the lineup. What I found out, George Parros did not want to suspend Tom Wilson on his hit with Brandon Carlo, but Gary Bettman overruled that decision. With that said, his decisions are awful, and for some reason, he's holding Wilson's hand and bailing him out. I love that the Rangers organization had the balls to come out and say what was on their mind. I wish more teams did this, and the fact that Bettman and the league took that and acted the way they did with a $250,000 fine is absolutely infuriating. But we just talked about that. Something needs to be done about Wilson and Parros. I don't know what, but also to add to this, but something different, Shane Gosdespair received a 2-game suspension for pushing Penguins Freeman into the boards after an empty net goal this week. Freeman would be fined. Freeman would be fined, but the fact Freeman didn't get injured and Gosdespair got a 2-game suspension, while Artemi Panarin is out for the remainder of the season and Wilson got slapped with a measly fine, is ridiculous.
All right, so this is what I have. Before we go into it, the funniest part to me about all this was when after the 6 fights, both penalty boxes have 6 players in them,
right,
and the benches have 8 each. Like, they barely have enough guys to play fucking hockey now.
Right.
So funny. It looked like men's league.
They were able to social distance for the first time.
Yeah, right. So, let me ask this. If Panarin is not injured at all on this altercation, you still want him suspended?
I would want him suspended at least a game.
For what?
For Buchnevich.
Okay. So, I understand that. So, now the thing that I think is Panarin needs to know who he's going after there in the scrum. You see all the guys are grouped together, and you're coming in to just tie up your man and take your guy.
Right.
Tom Wilson isn't the guy that Artemi Panarin should be grabbing. Like, no. Artemi Panarin's
when you saw Artemi Panarin jump on Wilson,
he jumped on his back
twice
too.
The size of him.
So he grabs him from behind. So what Wilson does is he basically flips him over, right, because he's Artemi Panarin. Wilson probably has arguably 50 pounds on Panarin, I would think.
Oh, for sure.
So I think it's partially on Panarin for even doing that.
But the fact that he couldn't. The problem with Tom Wilson, though, in that situation, he had him on the ice. Like, he threw him down, but decided to keep, like,
Did you see the scrum? Yeah, that's what any guy would do. Watch any fight, and you'll see the guys that are actually tied up, not this new buddy, like, hey, you're my guy, holding hands, watching the fight.
Right.
Like, the actual, like, tied up on the ice, like, don't touch me.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't really see an issue with that. I think it's more on Panarin than on Wilson. And then the Buchnevich thing, it was scummy, yes. Buchnevich wasn't hurt from it, and I think I've seen other players do shit like that too, that haven't gotten suspended. But I don't know. I
think it's the fact that just Tom Wilson was the guy who did it.
Yes, I think that's the issue. I think you could probably get away with 1 or 2 games for it. Also, I've talked before about injury versus no injury in the past, where if you injure the guy and you intended to injure him, you're out for as long as he's out. He didn't intend to injure Panarin. He intended to fuck him up,
right?
But there's no intent to, like, murder the guy. You know what I mean? It's different with, like, the cheap shot on the Colorado player. Was it Colorado and Detroit, that rivalry back in the day?
Yeah.
It's different there because that's clear intent to injure. Like, Wilson does what happens in fights and tied his guy up and took care of him. Now, the Buchnevich aspect of it, I do see that a little bit, and his past history. I think 1 or 2 games, you would have solved a lot more problems than just a $5,000 fine. The fact that $5,000 is the maximum, too, is a fucking joke.
It is a joke.
The league minimum is $750,000. You're going to take $5,000 away?
That's not even a fucking slap on the wrist. We talk about chump change, and that's like, oh, fucking, here you go. I'll do it again next game. That's the type of shit.
It's absurd.
You going to do the math there?
Yeah. So from a league minimum player salary, $5,000 is 0.006%. So that's almost 0.5% of his pay.
Fucking nothing.
It's nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
So,
yeah, in that perspective, it is ridiculous.
I think they totally could have resolved it by doing it. I don't think you should be upset with George Parros, but I understand why the Rangers are upset with George Parros. because I think like a Brendan Shanahan would have said, all right, look at his past history. Like he's got to get at least a game or two here.
Right. Shanahan was strict as shit, though.
Yeah, he was good.
Strict.
And
yeah.
I think it was good. I like that.
Right.
And I like the little videos that he did to recap every
I loved
incident.
that.
Those were
I
good.
loved that. Because he would explain himself.
Exactly.
Whereas George Parros
I haven't seen anything.
He's not explaining himself. Whereas Brendan Shanahan, like, he would have shit there just like he didn't really agree with. But the fact that he was there to be like explaining the whole situation and as to why, especially he'll break down, it's like, in this rule, this is why he's getting this suspension or this is why he's getting this fine. So he breaks it down. Whereas, like, it's just George Parros just like being like, eh. And then you got the thing that says after his hit with Brandon Carlo, which he lined Brandon Carlo's head up to the boards, just lined him up. And Parros, for some reason, is just like, yeah, I don't want to suspend him. And even Bettman was just like, what? And I'm like, no, we're overruling that shit.
That one is interesting. I don't really understand that. I don't know much on it.
I didn't like that at all.
But yeah.
So we're both kind of different minded on this.
And now, wait, go back and look at his past injuries. You still have those pages there? Yeah. I mean, sorry, past suspensions.
Past suspensions.
2 preseason games for a hit on Blues Robert Thomas, 4 games for boarding, 3 games illegal check to the head, 20 games suspension brought down to 14 for illegal check to the head, 7 games for a hit to the head on Brandon Carlo.
Right.
None of this incident right now doesn't line up with any of that. This is I threw a guy to the ground and I pushed this guy's face to the ground.
Right.
That's not any of that. It's not an illegal check to the head. It's not boarding. So technically, like, you could suspend him, but you don't really need to. You know what I mean? It's not a hit. It's not a cross check to the face. It's not swinging a stick at someone.
Right, but you think after you'd come back from the 7-game suspension, like it's been May, right? So it's been like a month.
Oh, a month.
It's been like a month.
That happened this year?
It happened this year.
I don't remember
like
that.
after a month, especially after coming back, right? You think he'd come back and be like, "Hey, listen, just watch yourself."
He's like Marchand. Marchand doesn't do that. Yeah. Marchand has now, and Wilson arguably could the way that he plays, but he could be like Marchand was a few years ago. Like maybe they're on the same trajectory. Maybe Wilson is going to clean it up eventually, but
maybe.
But I don't know.
How long does he have to be in the league? He's already here for 8 seasons.
He's that good. He's the top line player on the Washington Capitals, arguably one of the best teams in the league, and arguably one of the top.
Arguably one of the top. Yeah.
What do you think? Like top 30 players in the league? I think you would make that.
You could throw it. Yeah, top 30 for sure.
Yeah,
I'd throw him up there.
And I mean, he could be around for 8 more years.
And I don't. So I hate Tom Wilson, but I don't sit there. This aggravated me. But there's a lot of shit that Wilson's done that like a lot of times I sit there with open mind that just like, all right, how did the play happen? Like was it? No, I'm thinking something else. It was Tom Wilson though, but I can't remember the game. And I think it was last season because all I can think of is Vancouver Canucks. But someone like fell, like kind of leaned, but Tom Wilson was like already ready to just like, he was so close, and he just got him in the head. But like in that situation, just like
it wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional.
He was already lining the hit up.
He was already lining up. Tom Wilson's a fucking big dude. Like it's like Chara too, like in a way, because Chara's a fucking huge dude and can ragdoll anyone. Like it's difficult for a player of that caliber to like line someone up in a way that just like it might not hurt him.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like neither of these things were like that. It was you're on the ground right in front of me. You like when I fucking whitewash you in the goal crease. How about that?
Right.
And then I threw you to the ice and you got hurt. That's on you.
It's like
why'd you touch me?
Speaking of Chara, who did he run into the boards? Remember fucking Montreal was like calling the cops on him?
Yeah, it was the Montreal player. He actually broke his vertebra and got stretchered off the ice. And I think he always wore like one of the
chest plates or something.
Not chest plates, a little neck guard kind of thing, almost like a sweater vest. Right. I'll try and figure out who that player was while you.
Yeah, so he Chara's just a big dude, man. Like he can probably lift me up with like his one hand. It
was Max Pacioretty. And he the way that hit looked,
he rode the boards
exactly,
with him.
and that wasn't right, I don't think. But Chara obviously didn't mean to do that. He did want to fuck the dude up using the boards,
But when you're like that size and like you're that strong, it's plays like that. It just like I don't know if it's just out of his control or just
that was in control. And he meant to do that, I think.
You think so?
Yeah, when I watched that video, like you said, he rides him into the boards and he's like, "Here comes the fucking pole. Eat shit." He didn't mean to kill the guy and break his neck, but he meant to fuck him up.
Right. That's rough. But I'm just saying, like, bigger players compared to, like, if you're a big guy, like 6'5", and you're playing like
That's not an excuse to me anymore because now it's if you see the numbers, you ease up, and that's it.
Right.
Doesn't matter how big you are. Like, you see the numbers, you ease up.
You got a good point. And then the game, I don't know, man. It's just I try to take everything into consideration. Like again with like big players and small players and shit, but I don't know. Like a lot of times, like I'll see Tom Wilson hit, and I'll be like, "Oh, that piece of shit." But then, like I'll rewatch it, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, he's good."
Yeah,
I just hate it that he's Tom Wilson.
Right, exactly.
It's just the same shit. It's the same shit with me and like Matthew Tkachuk. Remember, you're like, "Why do you hate Matthew Tkachuk?" I'm like,
my issue is that you were ripping on Brady Tkachuk. I'm like, Brady's the man, dude. He doesn't do the same shit Matthew does. Matthew pisses my day off too.
No, you're thinking about Brady because Matthew Tkachuk's the good one. Brady Tkachuk's the piece of shit.
No, Brady Tkachuk is on the Senators. He's the man. He's boy.
Oh, that's
my
right.
Guy Jimmy Stutzel.
Why do I keep fucking this one up? Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, and he's laughing at him across. That's right. Yeah, and you're like, why do you hate him? I'm like, because of the Tkachuk name. I've totally changed my mind.
It was so
since that
funny.
episode.
Brady's the man, dude. I was like, why do you hate him? You're like, his name's Tkachuk.
I don't know.
I'm like, sick.
Right? He's related to Brady and Matthew Tkachuk. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. But it's funny because this week, man, after this hit, it's been like one of the most talked about things.
Oh,
like,
absolutely, yeah.
I've had people at work come up to me, especially my engineer. We've been talking about this since, and it's just like it's just like a huge topic of conversation, and everyone has the different opinions. Like everyone's split. You go online, and like Tom Wilson.
I don't think they're split, man. I think it's Caps fans versus the rest of the world, dude. They're the only ones sticking up for Tom Wilson.
You might be right with that.
I think so,
because
dude.
there's a huge amount of people that are like Tom Wilson. You go, and then like they give him like the crybaby face to everyone, like bitching and moaning, whereas everyone else is just like fucking Tom Wilson.
Or the memes I sent you, dude. The one was like Tom Wilson shows up to the arena with a gun, shoots all the players on the opposing team's bench.
I didn't understand
then proceeds to kill his own team. Caps fans living in your head rent free though.
Now I get it.
So funny.
So I don't know. Just it is what it is. Like that's all this breaks down to it. It is what it is. Everything happened, and that's it. We gotta just take it from here. Rangers aren't going to be in the playoffs. The Capitals are.
Get fucked.
Hopefully Panarin comes back. You know he's good. I did hear that Ovechkin, who's out, and Tom Wilson called Panarin.
Oh, really? I didn't hear this.
Just to check how he was. But it's so funny because like when I was aggravated typing this shit and I was reading that, I'm like, he's just doing that to look good. But I'm like, he's probably not. He's probably this fucking great guy.
That's what
like,
I mean.
Hey man, it was probably
he didn't
like
intend to injure.
No, it was probably like in the moment shit, and he's like, oh fuck, like.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't intend to injure him. My thing at first was like, maybe the Rangers are just saying Panarin's going to be out for the season, and then he's coming back like a couple games before playoffs. But they're out of the playoffs, so I mean, realistically, what he missed 2 games.
Right.
I think that happened on their 54th game of the season. They got 2 games left. Like, if I was Panarin too, I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not coming back.
I love the reactions to some of these guys. Like Sean Avery I had to rewatch his like a few times to understand.
Sucks. I can't stand him. He's such a fucking piece of shit. So annoying, dude.
You're right. But I had
parked in the bike lane. Sick,
my God, I remember that.
Sick.
I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Stay parked
That
here.
was like his thing. I'm like, you're a fucking NHLer and you have to fucking ride your bike across New York. Fucking solid, buddy. Good job.
Well, the issue is he could pay for the Uber, but it would take him twice as long than riding the bike.
Oh, God.
It's New York City.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, he came out with a video that was just explaining to Tom Wilson, and he goes, what would I do if I was still in the NHL? I'm like, you'd probably still be fucking like doing the marching band in front of like every fucking goal.
Well, he was right. I mean, that was like the one video I agreed with him because he was like, if I were them, I would send a message and run their goalie. Like,
right.
He goes,
I wouldn't run Tom Wilson. I would run someone else on the team that's like valuable.
Yeah,
and be like,
because that's what they took.
Keep pulling this shit, and there's gonna be another player that you care about that's gonna be fucking getting out of here.
And the Capitals are honestly lucky that that's not what they did.
Right.
They did the line brawl. Wilson's out with upper body injury. We'll see how long he's out. But
it's just so funny that Sean Avery picked the goalie because I'm like, that's just his thing. But he was right. He was like dead on where just like that makes sense. Like the one way to get Tom Wilson to stop doing this shit is to say, hey, like, you keep doing it, but we're not going to go after you. We're going to go after your teammates, and it's just not going to stop until you stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So I actually agreed with him a lot on that. That's why I had to watch it a few times.
I think it's still like a piece of shit scumbag move to be out there in the open and be like, I want to kill the goalie.
like straightforward. He goes,
knock his block
he's
off.
like Hopi or whoever's on the team. I'm like, are you watching like the league at all whatsoever? He goes, I'm gonna run him.
That's funny.
But and then I love Georges Larac. He didn't come out with a video, but he came out with a tweet that says, "Hey Rangers, sign me for like one game, and I'll take care of this Wilson guy." I'm like, yeah, you will. Georges Larac is fucking
even now,
dude. He'll kill it. Like I watched a Vice thing about this Quebec league that's just pretty much all fucking fighting. Actually, you want to talk so I can like find what it is?
Quebec league that's all fighting. What is it, goon?
All fighting. It's like pretty much all goon. Yeah.
Georges Larac, born 1976. Let's see how old that makes him. 24 and 21 is 55. You think he would be in the? He would go to the NHL and fight at 55 and beat Tom Wilson up? I mean, it is Georges Larac, but 55 years old, man. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It's called.
I mean, obviously it's not going to happen, but I don't think he would win if he was there.
Right.
I think he's just trying to get his 10 seconds of fame again.
So it won't tell me what it is, but it's called the LNAH. LNAH, if you want to look that up.
I'll figure it out.
It's the toughest league in the world, whereas the NHL average around 0.3 fights per game. LNAH audience are treated to more than four fights per game, with no shortage of bench clearing brawls, fan fights, and of course poutine.
Oh, they renamed it. It used to be NAHL, the North American Hockey League.
Solid.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah, they founded in 1996.
Holy shit! And Georges Larac was in there.
Founded as the Quebec Semi-Pro Hockey League.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's leagues like that now. I do want to go to a game. I saw that Vice and I'm like, I wouldn't mind going up to
Those
Quebec.
leagues aren't going to last in like 10, 20 years because you can't.
I'm just saying as a fan.
You can't end up making a career out of it in the NHL and make actual money. Like you have to be able to play now too.
No, these guys are fucked because like they're just fighters and like they're showing up in like their old like 90s like Toyotas coming to like the games. So they're not getting the paid, but like they just want to play hockey and fight. But these guys are like before games. I'm sure Toradol we just talked about. I'm sure that's fucking they're shooting themselves up with that. And then guys were just like they're showing in the Vice that like some guys were like just getting like their backs like realigned before the game, like their noses were broken, so like they're realigning their noses and everything. It's just one of those leagues, but I do want to go to at least one game, but I don't know.
I mean, that just sounds like New England Senior to me.
That league,
you could come to a game.
That league folded.
You could come to a game next Wednesday. Oh yeah, they folded. That's how out of the loop I am now. Haven't been on the ice in a fucking year and a half.
Getting close to it, buddy. I'm getting my second vaccine in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then yours is next week, right? Next Saturday? Beautiful. And then I'll be taking this bad boy. Someone texted me. I'm starting to get texts again. Someone texted me. He goes, hey, I'll read verbatim what he said. I have no idea who this is. So welcome to being a goalie because I get random numbers saying, hi, Matt, I got your number from PPHL rep. I'm like, who? What?
PPHL was MAHL, so they just passed your number.
Sorry, just passed. Okay. Yeah. He goes, any chance you can play tonight, 10-10 in Rockland? I'm like, so.
Someone was offering $40, dude. I almost went and did it.
Holy shit, really? Yeah. So it was funny because I was like, I've been wanting to play so fucking bad. And if I said yes, I was looking at my bag. I'm like, I don't have my mask. Like,
you could have stopped here. You know where the key is, and
yeah,
you just walk in. Like, we're gonna be here. Luna will be here. Emma's here.
I'm gonna wait for the vaccine and then get back into it. But with that said, you want to take us off?
Yeah. What do you got for a shot?
I got Fireball, buddy. So we're going through our stuff, and I realized I have 3 Fireball shots. I don't know why the hell I have them. You have
classic Matt. I'm sniffing it. 99 espresso coffee.
This is gonna be so fucking
dude, the 99 bananas was so strong last week.
Dude, you've been giving me shit this whole time. I think it's finally my
it's absolutely
it's
your
my
turn.
time.
It's
to
absolutely
like,
your turn.
Fucking grow up.
Have you ever had 100 proof vodka?
Yeah, it's not good. So
yeah, it's not good. This is 99 proof, dude.
My cousins, I have 4 cousins who were adopted from Russia, and years ago. They went to my aunt and uncle. They went to Russia. I can't remember what for. I think they needed paperwork or some shit. And they came back and they brought 2 balls of Russian vodka with them, like 100 fucking proof. So me and two of my uncles and my brother and my cousin Tim all took a shot, and holy shit, it is like gasoline,
Dude,
diesel
have you ever
fuel.
had the Scorpion Bowl with the 151 rum in the middle?
No.
So I've had it a few times. So you know what a Scorpion Bowl looks like?
Yep.
It kind of looks like that, for people who don't know, that like bundt cake like dish, and then the center of it, there's room for a shot. So they put 151 rum, which is 151 proof, which is, quick math, 75.5% alcohol, which is almost 100% clearly. And it's like basically such pure alcohol, you can they light it for you. It's lit on fire. So the center of the Scorpion Bowl's on fire.
I've seen it, yeah.
I've had it.
I
It's
just never had
awesome.
it.
It's so funny.
Cathay Pacific and
Scorpion Bowls
Quincy.
are so good, dude. I want a Scorpion Bowl right now.
I was just thinking
I'm
about
revved
that.
up, dude.
Fucking
Ready to go. Not after this espresso shot. I'm gonna say I don't want alcohol for a couple of weeks.
We're gonna find out.
I picked the
buddy.
worst one, man.
You're the one who wanted this shit.
No, this flavor.
Oh yeah. I mean, I thought banana was gonna be good, but that fucking hurt your ass.
I might have to start mixing these into something and just get new nips. Christ, Fireball.
That's like me and Bombay. So
Making fun of me. He's drinking Fireball. Fucking guy.
hey, I said I was gonna get something better, and I did. Now you're the one that's gonna be hurting. So cheers, buddy.
I had a pretty rough hangover last week too from this. All right, cheers.
Cheers. Oh, so much better. You know what's good is that like you can feel it hit like your soul, because it's 8:30 at night, and I haven't eaten a single thing today.
We're earlier than usual too. This is nice.
Yeah, this is nice and early. Oh my god, you were fucking.
I
hurting
chased
over
it.
there.
I chased it with the mango, dude. Such a bad flavor. Coffee and mango.
Your face is red. You're trying so
As red
hard
as
to
my
be like,
shirt,
I
dude.
got this.
I'm gonna throw this one at the camera too.
You fucking hit the camera. I swear to God.
I'm not gonna throw
The
it at the
one
camera.
camera we have.
All right.
But you want to send us off?
Yes, sir. Thanks everyone for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Thanks, guys. See
Peace.
you next week.